Joining us is Fox News contributor Katherine Timpf and Nomiki Konst of the Accountability Project. All right, I've got to start with you first, Nomiki. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. It sounds like you're laughing about the Donald Trump comment there.
Pitter-patter.
Yeah.
I think I said this the other day. I think that Donald Trump has reached his Paris Hilton moment. You know, Paris Hilton was all over the press. Nobody could talk about anything but Paris Hilton all the time. And then they suddenly stopped because there was nothing else to talk about. Donald Trump has reached his peak base, and he's trying to pivot to business. He's trying to pivot to other issues. He's trying to still take down Carly Fiorina. But there's really nothing else for him to say because all the other moderates in the race, which is really what he's going to have to start to do soon, have already dominated that sphere. I don't know how he can compete with them.
But, Katherine, do you think this is effective for Trump to be insulting Fiorina, the only female in the race on the Republican side?
No, and after she did such a great job in the JV debate, I've been looking forward to seeing how he could handle criticizing with his style when he's criticizing a woman. He doesn't seem to be doing a great job, especially since she didn't run the company into the ground. That's not really fair. She took over when it was a mess, and most people know that. So it's not maybe as good as she's trying to make it sound, but it's not as bad as he's trying to make it sound.
It was a bigger mess after she left, actually.
Yeah. Right.
Because they had a spying, remember the spying scandal? Yep. There were charges brought up in California not related to anything that she did, but
well, it brings up
things that were going on by the board.
I asked Dagan the last hour, will this come back to haunt her? Has she gone sort of unscathed and been able to rise through the polls despite that? But as she gets more in the spotlight, will that eventually hurt her and bring her down?
I think she's doing a great job spinning her background into a positive view. But Mark Hurd was the one that turned that company around and got it going in the right direction and deserves the credit for what he did. As far as what she did, she increased the debt load. She increased sales, but sales isn't a measure of earnings, which is the success of a company. So in that regard,
And she was fired.
And she was fired. And if you want to see, she uses this excuse that there was a downturn, the tech bubble was bursting. Well, look at other companies in a similar space. IBM, Lexmark. Guess what? They still were doing a lot better than her after her merger with Compaq. They were doing a lot better.
My question is, would Trump have been fired from his own company if his name wasn't on the door during the downturn in his business?
Probably.
Good point. All right, so we started out by talking about Hillary Clinton because she made a couple headlines over the weekend. So, Nomiki, I want to get your reaction to this. She was asked on this, I believe that this was Face the Nation, to name 3 words to describe the real Hillary Clinton, to which she responded, just 3? I can't possibly do that. Well, she had to come up with something, and she said, I am a real person. Trying to put herself off as human and more personable. Is that working for her?
Every time she goes on TV, listen, I know she's trying, and I know that she's been getting a lot of pushback from the world, basically, for being too political. But it sounds like every time she's going on TV, she's putting on her actor's hat rather than being a real human. And I mean, I was joking the other day, and please, Hillary Clinton campaign, don't attack me for this. It sounds like she's taking a shot before she goes on air. Like, let me loosen up a little bit. I'm nervous.
No. She would actually look loose if she'd done had some booze to drink before this, because this is like bad acting.
It's bad acting, and it's hitting her in the polls. Every time she goes on TV, she drops another point.
I think it's also worse because her campaign announced that she's going to try to be more spontaneous and try to be more personable. They have a plan for her to be spontaneous.
Yeah.
So this is just really another political move rather than her actually being herself. It's her pretending to be cool as a political.
But, Katherine, what about these comments, too? And, Darren, I want to get your reaction to this as well, being the only man sitting up here right now, saying that she would be as much a political outsider as any other candidate because she would be the first female president, of course.
I think that...
Careful.
I think that she'll be fine as a president, but she was a political insider. Okay, she was a senator. She was a multi-term senator. So it's not to say that she wasn't any of those things. Okay.
You want me to do my laugh again?
Oh boy,
I got a good Hillary.
Dagan says, "How could she have not perfected?"
Because she goes on and she's like. It always goes on too long.
Yeah.
It is Monday morning, folks.
I'll say this. Probably trying to coach her through her laugh.
Right, exactly. Because she doesn't know
what... She was most stoic as Secretary of State is when she had the greatest respect.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And guess what? what? She was human when she was just tweeting and texting, and they caught her off camera or off script, basically. Those were the moments that we loved. Hillary just being Hillary in the small crowds that everybody talks about.
So is she being poorly advised? Is that what you're saying?
I think her advisors are terrible, and that's because she only lets people in that she trusts. So when you have the same people for the past 30 years telling you the same things, and you're making the same mistakes and doing the same things to answer those mistakes, guess what? Time to kill those advisors. Not literally kill them, but like get rid of them. Because
you own it that you look like and act like the person who cut you if somebody wrongs you, because that's what she said.
Who said Monday mornings are boring, by the way? All right, Katherine and Nomiki, thank you for joining us this morning. Great to have you guys. Great conversation.